YouTube people, we are in unprecedented territory. Two brand new releases are, one is for sure struggling. The other one is actually doing fine, but we could clickbait it to make it look like it's struggling as well. Both Magic with Spider-Man collector boxes and Mega Evolutions are on the struggle bus a little bit. Spider-Man way more so, to be sure. Let's talk about that one second. Let's talk about Mega first. Obviously, the new set just came out. They did this weird two-wave release thing. I don't know if that was intentional, printing issues, distribution issues, whatever the case might be, but it's had this weird effect of product came out, it was doing pretty good. It was sitting around 300, crept up to 330, leveled out around 300. And now the second wave has come and has kind of dipped the price down about $20. It's now down to 280 a box, which, like I said at the top, I could show you the graph right here and be like, oh my God, look, it's going to zero. But in all reality, a brand new product coming out for Pokemon and still being at $280 a box is really good. This is probably, if you like this set, a potential buying opportunity to get it at a little bit of a dip before it dries up as this second wave hits. I don't know how big it is. I don't have distribution access. I'm sure plenty of other folks will be talking about those various aspects of it, but it's worth keeping an eye on. I got my case that I picked up for the mid twos. I think it was like 230, 240 a box. That's my one case for the set. I am now done with the set. That is usually what I do, buy one case and then just stash it and then move on to the next thing. On occasion, I'll pick up some other products here and there, but that is generally my plan. But we'll see. We're still in the early days of wave 2. So this may be the bottom. This may not be the bottom. Maybe it gets down to 250. Maybe it only stays at 280 for a couple of days and it shoots right back up to 300. These will be the interesting things to watch. But this is the first real set that has kind of gotten punched in the face is way too strong of a term, but just isn't sprinting out of the gates, is actually seeing some pullback post-release. And like I said, it's kind of by design the way that they did this two-wave system of the product release, which we don't typically see, where a bulk of the product comes out and then a month later, or in this case 2 weeks later, another batch arrives that is kind of undercutting the price. As from the shop perspective, and Rudy talked about this in his video I think yesterday, they're getting this at distro pricing, whatever it is, and they're immediately able to flip it for 280 a box is a huge margin for them. So everyone's just essentially undercutting each other to blow through the inventory and take their instant profits. And if that's the business model they want to live under, do your thing. So they're grabbing that instant money, but it's driving the price down in the process as all this supply hits the market. Like I said, we'll see how quickly it dries up. Now, Spider-Man is a whole other bag of cats. These were well over $600, up to $800 in some cases pre-release. And then the whole no cereal card thing came out. And then an Amazon dump came out. And it has essentially tanked the price. I don't know if these are still on Amazon or not. I haven't checked for a while. I'll look on the other screen while we're talking here. But the combo effect of, and they are currently on Amazon for $4.75 a box. So if you're looking for them and you have maybe an Amazon credit card where you get extra points or something like that, they are still available on Amazon, limit 4. If you want to get some of these, so slightly more expensive than TCG Player, but depending on your situation and shipping and Amazon reward cards and gift cards and all that nonsense, you might be able to get a slightly better deal on them going that route. But that left-right combo of the Infinity Stone is not serialized, even though the Infinity Stone is selling for a bajillion dollars. The super short printed one is going for, I think, like 20 or 30K or something crazy. And, based off what Rudy and others have said, it sounds like that card was supposed to be serial numbered, and Marvel said, we don't want you to serial number it. So it's basically a serial numbered card, but it just doesn't have the number on it. So it spooked everybody. And whether that caused a bunch of people to cancel pre-orders, whether that allowed Wizards to print way more of it, I don't know, but it led to a mass sale on Amazon at $4.55 a box. That sat at that price for days. And then it finally crept up a little bit. It was in the 480s the other day when I looked, so I'm surprised to see it come back down to 475. The set, from a playability standpoint, I can't speak to it. From an art standpoint, as a Marvel card guy, some of the cards look really cool, but I think what's happening is the Marvel card guys are just coming in and cherry picking the couple cards that they want and not buying boxes to rip. That being said, the fact that the Soulstone is selling for that much money across the board, but the super short printed one has that kind of chase value in it, this just feels like if you're willing to ride it out long term, that there is some potential here on the Spider-Man collector boxes. I don't think Wizards is going to go back and reprint these. They say that they don't. I just think they printed a lot of these once the serial number restriction came off. And I do think people panicked a little bit on it. But regardless, it has led to one of the worst performing hyped collector boxes in recent memory, with this thing dropping 30% just in the last month, and some people getting hit even harder than that. And some of the singles are starting to come down as well. I did not pull this up. Let's see if we can look at them really quickly here. But some of the single prices had also been pulling down a little bit. Now the Soulstone, there's the big one there, market price $33,000. I haven't seen this in hand in photos. It looks amazing. This one here, the borderless one, I just think this card looks fantastic. The Spectacular Spider-Mans have come down a little bit, and then the Eddie Brock borderless, I know this is one that I liked quite a bit, has come down. It was going for $250, $200. It's down to like $175 now. But that shouldn't be super surprising. That's kind of what this stuff does typically. This is actually following the pattern that I anticipated Final Fantasy to, that it didn't, where the single prices came out and these are retracing, which is typically how it works. Final Fantasy went the other direction, where they came out and they kind of sat and then they spiked up. They actually got more expensive as time went on in a lot of cases. And we're just not seeing that with Spider-Man stuff. But some of the people are chasing this stuff. Once again, that I cannot say. This card in particular is one of the best looking cards that I have seen in recent memory. It just looks absolutely fantastic. And you have to imagine they have more of these sets coming. There's already one announced for next year. There are going to be more of these Infinity Stones to chase, and maybe that drives value back to the King of Kings. But this thing going for this price and the boxes sitting at this price just does not seem to check out with me. I know others have talked about that, but that one is baffling me a little bit and makes me think that these are still a potential buy if you wanted to load up. Now, the question always comes down to, and maybe you're only into one versus another, so the answer is easy. Would you rather buy, like, what has higher upside? Spider-Man collector boxes at 450-ish or Mega Evolutions at 280-ish? I don't know. I'm curious for your thoughts and comments down below on that one. Which would you rather buy? For their current market prices today, October 19th, would you rather buy Mega at 280 or Spider-Man at 450? I think, to give a cop-out answer, I think this one is safer. I think this potentially has more medium-term upside. This one has the case to go way, way higher, like way, way higher, versus I think we kind of know what this is going to do over the years. It'll age slowly. So I think it just kind of depends on your risk tolerance. But as anytime we're talking about cardboard, it can all go to zero. And just keep that in mind before you spend any of your money on any of this nonsense. That's all I got. Catch boys and girls on the next one. Peace.